No, let's go harder.
Fuck it. Open that shit up.
Pain.
Allow me to show it to you.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, what's up, guys? It is Wednesday. You know what that means. It is feedback time. It is feedback time for everyone that submits, so make sure you submit, bros. Don't forget, we are going to be listening to quite a few today. But, yeah. Hope you guys are doing okay. Was that me? Nah, I can show you, though. Let's see if it's fucked up. Yes, it is fucked up. I love that. That's awesome. I think it's this one. Yes. It was this song you listened to. Progressing Agony. Isn't that ironic? Yeah, by the way, if you are a member and you have a cool sound you want to be remade, dude, hit me up on Patreon. I will make a tutorial on how to make a bass that you want to make. I'm pretty accurate, I think. So maybe you can trust me, maybe, I don't know. Everyone that submitted so far is really happy. I love this feature where like you click and drag slightly and it opens up the playlist. Like I love that so much. Thank you, SoundCloud. It's a really cool feature because that's how I want to look at the playlist, you know. Yep. Very awesome, dude. Also, like, I just realized I'm using a plugin to make SoundCloud dark, like the night mode thing. Are they ever gonna implement like a real dark mode? Because we've been wanting that forever. It feels funny to like even talk about because I'm so used to it now. But I just realized, like, I looked at this playlist button down here and it's like bright white. These other buttons are like bright white. I realized that SoundCloud is like bright white by default. Everything's bright white and it's just a little bit of orange. So I just kind of realized that. That's kind of funny. But yeah, anyways, this song is Progressing Agony by Intima. Intima's good. They've been in the scene for a long time. It's released by Antagonist, so yeah, very sick. I like the direction that Tarot's going towards. It's going towards like this like more metal route where we're actually using more metal influences in music. I had a whole conversation when I was at my show about this. Like Tear Out kicks and snares are becoming really they've already become kind of mainstream. But they're becoming more identifiable now. They're like, oh, it's a mix between like, you know, your regular dubstep snare that you hear in every single dubstep EDM song and like an actual metal drum. Like we're getting really distinct with our kicks and snares. And don't get me wrong, pan snares have been a thing for Tear Out for a while now. That's like why it's identifiable. But now it's like getting more towards that like metal feel. And fun fact, those like pan snares are inspired by metal, so you know it goes hand in hand because they did like weird shit with snares and stuff and metal. But anyways, yeah, it is VX stream. Make sure you guys submit your songs for review. First up, we have Avada. Excuse me. Also, what's up, Aphasia? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing okay. Okay, that was a sick song, bro. Just kidding. And now it's loading. It's punishing me. Yo, okay, are you actually loading? What the fuck? Yo. Hello? Dude, I actually broke it, I think. There you go. Alright. Avada. I met Avada on his first show. We were both playing our first show. Holy hype. What's up, Avada?
This is the end of you.
Damn.
Die, betrayer. This is the end of you.
Ooh. Oh, dude, that tone is crazy.
Die, betrayer.
Damn, that was sick. But did you play this in your set? And yeah, dude, it was super sick meeting you. Like, jeez, dude. I'm telling you, when everybody was watching your set, we're all like, damn, they're fucking good. Yeah, it's good quality. Jeez, man. Ugh. This is like what I want Rhythm to be more like. I want to be more like heavier. The thing I was hearing there at the venue is a lot of people that just listen to the genre of Rhythm. They are really like OG minded. Like they mostly care about getting that OG sound. And they were like talking about like using Square 4 and stuff. And it was just kind of like sad. I'm like, damn, dude, they just don't want to progress with music. They're never gonna want to listen to like a new Rhythm song. But I don't know how true that is. I just heard it from like a few people talking about it. But it was still like damn, dude, people really just want to keep the same sound going forever, indefinitely. And you know, it's been like what, like 5, 6, 7 years now of like it coming back. Like it was popular back then when like the OG Rhythm was like actually a thing, but it's like it's had a resurgence for quite a while now. But dude, this is what I want it to be. I want it to be like heavy, crunchy, like really well mixed, because my biggest critique for rhythm back then was that it was horribly mixed. Like I remember when I was really young, before I even started music, I was really into like listening to EDM. Like I was just into that. I would watch all the cringe channels. I would watch Dubstep Gutter, Dubstep Dose, Galaxy Music, like and you name any of the labels that were popping back then, I was probably listening to them. And one of my friends was really into dubstep. He was like, "Yeah, have you heard Rhythm? It sounds really bad." And my introduction to Rhythm was that it sounds really bad. And so I remember looking up Rhythm on like YouTube and SoundCloud because I was unreally using it back then. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like why does it sound like the same sound as repeating for a whole minute?" But that's what people like. I don't really get it. That'll still be my critique forever, and that's bad mix. But dude, if more rhythm sound like this, I would really actually enjoy Rhythm. You've gotten so good at mixing. It's like, it's really impressive. I do have a few things to talk about. They're less mixing stuff, but more arrangement critiques. Before I go on, do you have anything? No, just Maelstrom, self-release, 3 years, anything comes to mind. Okay, cool. So the first drop, I like it a lot. I don't know what your intentions are with making Rhythm. I feel like I had to anticipate that there's like an intention behind the song. Usually it's like doubling. And I think in your guys' case, I don't know if you guys are doing more than doubling or like doing four doubles, 4 things at the same time. But like people sometimes make songs just to fit like as a good double. I don't know if that's what your purpose is or just to make it like a solo song that sounds good. But I feel like it would sound really good with an accenting bass. So I have this 8th note repeating pattern that's just like a rhythm bass. It's a good sound. It's just, I want to hear variety that comes in and out. Like you have the main part of the song there. I want to hear little bloops and bleeps. Probably not like bloops and bleeps specifically, but like some kind of accenting noise that is repeating and kind of adds to a rhythm, if that makes sense. I don't really create song to try and double them. Okay. Well, yeah, like an accenting bass would be really good. Those like, I'm thinking like in my mind what I hear if I were to like make the song. You hear how like flangey this one is? Like it's super tonal. I feel like if you had an accenting bass that was extremely tonal, that did like just a swipe up or down on the cutoff. Like wank. Maybe on the upbeat or something. It's just something that accents a new rhythm. You have an 8th note rhythm, and it's really stable. Add some accents that kind of, you know, imply other rhythms. I think this would be really cool. You should try it out. It doesn't have to be a bass. It can be any sound for that matter. It just needs to be like some kind of tonal thing that happens. I think that would add a lot to your song. Talking to a lot of rhythm people, they take inspiration from SZA's music. I talked to like a few dubstep or rhythm people a few days ago, and they were like talking about SZA. Oh, SZA made this womp bass, and oh my gosh, how they do this filler bass. And they care a lot about like these fills and these other sounds. Like it's one thing to get this main sound correct and get it to sound good, but they all really enjoy the sound of like the filler basses or the accent basses and like other background stuff. They find that stuff really cool. And I do too, don't get me wrong. But try it out. Be cool. You could probably pull up some SZA songs and, you know, kind of get the gist of it. And my other feedback is towards the transition. I think the transition is okay. What you did is you just high passed it and then added the Sentry's laser. That's what it's called, by the way, I think. That like wank sound, so Sentry's laser, I believe it's called. but it didn't do much to really transition the weight from the drop into the breakdown. You just high passed it, did a laser sound, and that's it. There's a lot of ways you can make it sound like it's continuing a motion, or like there's momentum still there. I think a really cool trick that you could try is just adding a delayed bass. So get whatever bass or delay you think of that has like ping pong and a filter. Okay, set it to the same rhythm as your bass, so it would be like eighth notes. Make it ping pong so it goes from left to right, and just have it decay. Like turn up the wet knob at the very end, and that way in the breakdown you can still hear the delay going off. You could also do something with the laser if you want to do a delay on the laser. I think that would sound okay. What else could you do? The hi-hats imply energy is still coming up. So hi-hats are really good at implying certain beats. The way I use it a lot with hi-hats is, say like you have your kick clap pattern. So like kick clap, right? It's upbeat or a downbeat, upbeat, downbeat, upbeat, downbeat, right? To the next bar. Or 2 bars, I guess, depending on how long your pattern is. But a really common technique I use is on the kick, between the kick and the next clap, the upbeat, I have no cymbals in between. So there's no offbeat cymbal or anything. It is just kick, clap, and that puts a lot of emphasis on the clap. So it tells you the clap is where like things go crazy. And that's a really common thing with rhythm and tear out, is usually imply stuff in that way, because we use fake outs and stuff all the time. But thinking about how your hi-hats play a crucial part in percussion and energy is really, really important. So in here, your hi-hat's still playing. I would either filter it out with something. I would reverb it out so it's not noticeable that it's still playing a rhythm, or I would just cut it just right where the kick is, and that would flow a lot better, I think. It also make it less obvious that it's a transition too. If you were to double this with anything, or if you were gonna mix into a new song, you know, it'd be less obvious that it's a cut. So that's why it's kind of important for that. Why are people saying the stream's black? It looks good on my end. People on Twitch, is the stream black for you guys? What? Why? Bro. Dude, it looks completely fine to me. I go on my own Twitch and it's like fine. I just restarted the stream on Twitch. Let me know if it is better, because it's transmitting. I'm assuming it's transmitting fine on YouTube, right? I was kind of wondering, like, most people are watching on YouTube right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks fine on YouTube. Yarga, yarga, yarga. Wait, no way. Okay, well, if it's still black on Twitch, just go to YouTube, honestly. I don't know why that is. I'm sorry, guys. Just fix on Twitch. Okay. Well, if it's better on Twitch, just choose what you want. I restarted the Twitch one. I don't know. Okay, and the last thing, Avada, that I had to mention was this is like a mixing thing, but it's so minor. It's just that the sub could be louder. So I hear that you're doing like, I'm suspecting you're doing the technique of like where you dip the sub to make the bass pop out more, right? You just need the sub to just be louder, simply put. If there's any way you can manage the sub to make it more consistent, I think that would be better if it was more consistent, but I feel like if it was just louder, it'd sound way better. But yeah, otherwise really good. I just want a heavier sub. But geez, dude, you gotten so freaking good. I'm all jealous. All right, well, thank you for submitting, Avada. Yes, it was really sick to meet you, bro. It was actually like probably one of my highlights. Not gonna lie. For sure, slaps Ambassador on the master. Dude, you're not the only one that does that. So many people do that now. Is that like a hidden technique? I swear, like, doesn't it like fuck up your phase? I haven't used it enough to like really determine what it like really does. But my instincts tell me that it does mess with your phase and fucks it up. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll look into it my own time. Next up we have KLKTR. Clickter? Is that, how do you pronounce that? That has to be like a, you're supposed to like phonetically pronounce that, right? Colkter? I avoid it honestly, but I know a lot of people use it. Yeah, okay. So you probably know some other people that use Ambassador on their master. Dude, why has everybody been sleeping on that plugin though? I've been using that for so long, and I use it for like making cool basses, and people are like on their master. Damn. Hope we can link up again soon, dude. We for sure will. I think we're both like starting to play shows, so we can. Holy, version 25. I didn't even notice that. Hopefully we can get in the same show. I know you play Rhythm, I play Terra, but I feel like people said that your stuff is like teetering on the tear out line. If you just make it like a louder song, I think you could consider it tear out. What's up, Aphasia? Version 25 is wild. I feel like there's some pressure.
This is a lie.
Aphasia, is this you?
There is only passion.
Okay, how do you pronounce your name? I think it's Clickter.
I gain strength.
Clickter. Collector? Collector?
Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain.
I pronounce it like Collector. They don't have the O there. check. Okay, sweet. Bro, I have to ask, have you gone through like 25 versions? Like, what does this mean? What does version 25 exactly mean? Because it implies that the song was finished, but you made 25 revisions. That's like what I'm thinking of when it says version 25. What is the process? Like, are you counting like the amount of saves you've had or something? It's 25 saves. Okay. So that's like a lot different than what I thought. Okay. Dude, I was like, oh my gosh, you've gone through 25 revisions. Like, that's crazy. Like, that would probably make me really upset if I was on my 25th revision of the song after it's finished. Like, I would go crazy. Is Patreon queue too long or still time to submit? No, I can get through it. It's not super long. It's like a little over average, but not much. Bro, yeah, I would pull my hair out if I did that many revisions. The live enhancement suite lets you save process version. Yeah, FL has that option too. I just never use it. I feel like I should, but don't you think it's like kind of excessive? Also, when I use, it's kind of weird. When I use FL Studio, they have like an arrangement feature where you can go through different arrangements. And it's basically like different projects within the project file. So you can go back to old versions. And usually when I want to make a major change in a song, I'll just make a new arrangement, drag everything back in there, and then make the change in there. And that way I can keep the other arrangement and it'll still be the old version. So I don't really have to think about the autosave thing or like having new versions. That's like how I work. I see. Yeah, it's got to be helpful then. Okay, feedback. So it's a remix of modal nodes. I'm assuming you're going for like this tear out vibe, right? So the immediate thing I was hearing with the song is the kick was like really busy, and it gives me more of like death step vibes, like older death step. The thing with older death step though is older death step was very loud and abrasive, like super loud. They focused a lot on metal drums, so the drums they would actually use were from metal kits, and so those kicks that they would use were softer and shorter, but had a lot of high end. So that's why you could spam it a lot. Is it basically was like its own instrument that you could just spam. Dubstep kicks that we think of now that is in Tear Out, like these really heavy kicks. These sound best when they're on the downbeat. When you spam them a lot, it sounds weird because they take up a lot of energy, and they also make the downbeat weaker because they're being used a lot. My philosophy with kicks is if it's really beefy and heavy sounding, and also like long, you spam it less. And if a kick is shorter, like tighter sounding, then you can kind of spam it more. But I try to be generous with shorter kicks in general. You could do a trick where you have like a metal kick and you use that as like an accenting tool, but I really don't think having the kicks like this would be good. I feel like just having a kick on the downbeat and little ghost kicks, ghost notes if you will, just kind of implying other rhythms, be fine. Also, something that I hear that's like a major thing is just the inconsistencies in the loudness. So I talked right here in the last one about gain staging problems that only really got written down at the very end where you have this gun bass, but it's kind of prominent during the entire song. So your drums are loud, like tear out drums. They're made to punch and pull through like really loud mixes that have really aggressive basses and stuff. You don't really have those aggressive basses in here. You have like a rhythm bass that is kind of yoinky, but it's not completely sustained with high end, right? So the drums don't have to work as hard, and they are kind of taking over too much space. So in some way you need to find a way to make the basses louder and to compete with the drums, or take the drums down a notch, either replacing them with something that is softer, or something more accommodating to like this not so abrasive rhythm sound. I would probably suggest like making the basses sound more intense. I feel like you are missing a lot of like distortion and compression that you could be using to make it louder like that. Mostly in the high end region, and also just wideness. I also think you should be using more layers. So you have this main rhythm bass, and it feels like there's one bass playing at a time, which if you want to make a song sound really heavy and crazy, that's not the way you do it. You want to add more layers and background layers, adding like a quarter note or eighth note synth in the background that is playing a rhythm, or sometimes even a melody. It could be that too. Or just adding wide gun layers, like a percussive layer in the sides. You should figure out some way to emphasize layering, because it just sounds like it's one bass at a time and very monophonic. Like that one Yoi bass that plays every now and then, that feels like it does fit in this, but then you go back to this yoinky bass, and it's like kind of underwhelming. And the big thing I want to talk about is this gun bass here. This gun bass is really weak. It just needs to be louder. Like, I feel like if you just turn the bass up, it would sound much, much better. Like, listen to this distorted bass that is right before the downbeat. Like, that is the proper loudness that you need. Your other basses are just not loud, simply put. Also, like, there's a sidechain error, I think. It's not sidechaining here. Oh yeah, I'm not sure why that is. It just sounds like the gun bass is quiet to me. But yeah, those are my notes, my feedback for the song. Thank you for submitting, Aphasia or Collector. I'll keep that in mind. So yeah, thank you for submitting. Oh yeah, did you have any notes? Okay. Yeah. All right, next up, we have Delhi, or the Fracture Idol. That's pretty cool. It sounds so eerie. sine wave thing is kind of loud. Woo! Ah. Dude, this is crazy. Ooh, fuck, dude. Bro. This is how it ends. Bro, that was adventurous. I feel like I just like witnessed an experience. That was good. I liked that. So I kind of approach music feedback in like two categories. First category I think of is like, okay, you're trying to play a show, get people to dance, like the whole point of it is to just be energetic and explosive. And the next part that I kind of think of music as is like the artistic part of it. Like you're trying to have something for people to have emotions with, trying to invoke an emotion, right? And you can do that for like the dancing one too. Like there's implicit stuff you can do to emphasize certain things, but this artistic side is a lot more centered around, you know, getting emotions and feelings and implying different things. As like an artist, I think this is really good because it feels really experimental and like you're outside the comfort box of, oh, I'm gonna dance to house or some shit. It feels really cinematic. Like I could see this in a cinematic movie of some sorts. Like I feel like that show Batman Beyond, where it's like it's Batman's son in the future or some shit. Like I feel like that is what the setting is, like dark, futuristic Gotham, something like that. I really like the way you're making these basses. They sound really organic, but they also sound really crispy still. Like they're not overly processed. The thing I can talk about another time is like overprocessing basses. How do you avoid that? Because you can make a bass sound good and you can ruin it by trying to make it sound louder, heavier, or whatever other adjective. I don't really think this would get a crowd to jump and dance simply because the beat is too long. Like imagine people jumping There's no way Pip jumping between the kick and the snare. There's just no way. So this is just like a listening kind of song. You're sitting somewhere listening to this with headphones, probably most commonly. So the few things I have to write down, I really like the intro. The intro is fantastic. If you make like more mainstream dubstep to play out and stuff, it would make a fantastic intro. Like you are feeling that vibe. And the first drop is really heavy. I really like the way you use the snap sound. I think that's really good. And then later on use like a proper dubstep snare, which is also really good. I think you should use Foley more, because Foley is your friend for this kind of stuff. And I think you have used a little bit of Foley in here. I would even say that your bass is very Foley like. It feels like, you know, things doing stuff like tumbling. I don't even know what you would call that, like just tumbling shit. It sounds like you have something that's like low pass, it looks tumbling. But you need some proper drum Foley. And that can be, there's someone in here that does it really well. Kaisel. If you're in my Discord server, message Kaisel and like ask him like what he does specifically for his Foley, because he's really good at Foley and like making like little rhythms with stuff. And I'm pretty good at Foley stuff. Like I used to do a lot of that kind of genre, this genre actually. But Kaisel has been doing it for a long time. I think he's gotten like really, really good at it. So you can message him, ask him about it in the community. I think he's really good. One of the things I've done that I think is really helpful, find a drum break, and then get a granulizer and granulize a drum break and record the whole session, and then bring that session into your projects, chop it up, filter it whichever way you like. When I would granulize it, sometimes I would grab like a bandpass and like sweep it up and down, so it would feel like there's like more movement or something with it, you know what I mean? And that is just a really good way to get this like really guttural sound, because drums, if you take a drum break, preferably without cymbals, like just one of like less cymbal, like really tight cymbals, maybe no splashy stuff. If you take drums, they already sound really good and percussive, and so just bringing them in a granulizer, sweeping a bandpass up and down, or even having notches, you know, filtering it in whatever way you want, it does sound really good when you mix it in with drums like this, where you have like a really dry downbeat upbeat stuff. Yeah. So I guess you know Kaisel. Yeah, feel free to, I guess it's not up to me, but you can talk to them or try to talk to them or add them in the server or something. But yeah. My final critique is about the bass. Your bass is really subtle, and at some points I feel like it is too subtle. You know, it's like you have the energy for over here, but you're not developing it further to where it has more energy. Does that make sense? It still feels like the same energy over here. So you need to find a way to make a macro where it beefs up the sub of your sound, and you need to have some kind of layer that comes in. You could duplicate the bass you have and just have a high-end version with just the highs, and you could automate that in whatever way, but you need to bring some of that energy into the next parts. Where should I toss stuff at home? I have a server and I believe he's in there. Or you could go into the Discord. If you are in the Discord community or the Patreon community, you can ask in the community chat if Kaisel is responsive. Or he's sometimes in the stream too, so you could just ask to talk to him when he appears here. So developing that low end to be more intense, and having high end that comes in is really important. But yeah, thank you for submitting. This is really good. I like this a lot. Very awesome. Okay. Next up, we have Rushdown. One hour May challenge. Damn. Oh. Like this halftime section. Very early whip. I would hope so. It says 1 hour. Did you actually make it 1 hour? Dude, very sick though. I don't have much to say about this. I mean, for an hour, I'm kind of keeping that in mind that you made this in like an hour, supposedly. I like the melody, the intro. I feel like it could be a little bit better. I'll kind of expand on that actually. Like, I feel like it kind of goes someplace and you don't know how to resolve it. So you're starting this kind of phrase where it's building up, it's going up the scale, going ba da 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 da. And then you kind of stay there and you're like, okay, I hit this note and you don't know what else to do. So you're like panicking. And it just kind of falls apart. Like the first, let me count this. So bars 1 and 2 sound good, like you're making it progress and go somewhere, and bars 3 and 4 just don't know where to go. It's literally like you wrote yourself in a corner and you don't know how to get out of it. In your case, it is okay to just restart the chord. You could just have another repeat of the chord and change a few notes. You could do that. If you want to be more complex with your rhythm, reference the circle of fifths. So the circle of fifths is exactly what it sounds like. It is just a circle of, like, it goes from C to G to D, and you know, so on. Every other note is a fifth. So think of where you're going, and you can probably go to the fifth of either the root or the note that you're ending on bar 2, and finish from there. I think the biggest problem you're having is walking it down. It feels like you're going out of the key to walk it down. And I believe you're walking it down so that it kind of flows better. So you're not ending up like really high and the next pattern is super low. You're trying to like mix it together. You could fix it, I guess, by just making the next pattern an octave up, but then you're like stuck in this loop, you know? And that's where transposing will probably become helpful, is if you're climbing too high, you can't just transpose it down a whole octave or something. But if you're having trouble finding where to go on your next chord, reference the circle of fifths. And the next important thing is the relation from your very last chord in the pattern to the starting chord, because if you're repeating the chord pattern, the last chord is the first chord is going to be right after the last chord, if that makes sense, right? You have bar 1, that's your first chord, and bar 4 is your last chord. If it repeats, they're going to be right next to each other. So finding out how to resolve the end of the chord is also something that's difficult. In your case, look up the relationship of suspended chords and augmented chords. Those might be helpful in this case if you want to make it flow better. That way you can kind of understand the relationship of stuff. And also look up voice leading. So just to explain what voice leading is very quickly. Imagine you have a C major chord, okay? You have C, E, and G. That makes the C major chord. Everyone knows it. Your mom knows it probably, hopefully. Voice leading is trying to keep the notes the same, but still changing the chords. You're trying to keep as many notes as the same as possible, basically. And that kind of goes in tandem with like augmented chords or suspended chords. Is your voice leading, you aren't changing too many notes at once. So let's say you want to go from C to G major, okay? C is the fifth in the scale, so it's like the easiest to go up. It's also in the circle of fifths. They want to go from C major to G major. That's really handy because two of the notes in C major are the same notes that are used in G major. So you can very easily just get that going. Like, all you gotta do is just transpose one note, and it's basically the same place. But if you want to go from like C major to, D minor, you're gonna have a lot more difficulty because there's less notes for you to hold on to. And that's where you could go into like D minor suspended. So that is a way you could lead notes. But voice leading is trying to keep the notes the same. If you were to make D suspended fourth, then you would have a matching note. Or even D suspended second, where the D chord has an E instead of a F. You could also do that, and that is voice leading because you're sharing the E from the last chord.
Explore your soul.
I think your arrangement's fine here. I don't have any problems with it. Your snare is just a little loud. And the other thing that is bothersome is your growl bass is really it's playing all the time. Yeah, if you just make it add variety, I don't even have to comment that much. Like just more variety in the basses, you'll be really good. As far as like what direction to bring this in, you already kind of have 2 drops here. I don't think it's much of an issue to make a new drop. Just kind of take the intro and you extend it and add a breakdown, add some more instruments, and that's like it, basically. Nothing really else. But yeah, thank you so much, Rushdown, for submitting. We are on to the free submissions now. Got Impaled. Whoops. It's not where I put that link. What is up, Impaled? Ooh. You don't matter, man. I do like this.
Wanna hear your secrets?
Making the drop 32 bars is what I'm worried about. I don't think 32 bar drops are super common anymore, honestly. I think it's like kind of normal now for it to be that short. It's like not a big deal. Though I mean, you could try it if you wanted. You just make a new sound. My feedback is the same a lot of times. Just make a new drop, make a new sound, and try to blend it in with the one you made before. It's a common thing that I would do with basses, and it's just like fitting it with the next sound is really easy. A lot of times I'll duplicate the bass that is in the first part of the drop, and then I'll just mess with it a lot, and it'll be a completely different tone. So just try that. Yar. I post in the wrong spot or something. Did you submit? Oh, in the music channel. There is a submission link in the Patreon. It's a free submission link. So just go to where my Patreon is and click the submission link, and there should be like a Google form. Yeah, 3 16-bar drops could also work. I think 2 is a standard because some think that it's like a waste of time because people aren't going to listen to all 3 drops, but do what you want. Whatever works best for you. I just don't think 32-bar drops are like super standard anymore. Ugh. And okay, I have my notes. I like this part a lot because it feels really ethereal. And that bass is cool.
Secrets.
But when you get to the actual drop, man, your kick is really muddy and rumbly. Like it feels like it's playing an octave up or something. Like it's weird sounding. It could be the bass, but I don't know. It could be the bass actually. But it's like it's hovering around like 100 hertz, and I don't like that. So okay, and the other thing is it needs a lot more of a rhythm because it's just repeating the same like 1 or half bar just constantly. It's getting pretty boring really fast. You can have a repeating tone like that, but it needs to break up at some point. So boom, 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 boom. You know, you're accenting, you're adding variation. And another thing is like adding fills is really important. If you want to make this feel like it's progressing, add fills that are a different vibe. You can bring back that ethereal sound with like a respace or something. And adding progression means that it's like it's growing as a song, it's adding more, it's going a different direction. Doesn't necessarily have to be with instrument. It couldn't just be with like notes. You don't have to make a whole chord progression, but it needs to feel like the song is progressing, like adding more instruments, making it more intense, or just changing the tone completely, just in that sense. I don't know if it's the rumble or the bass. I think it's more so the bass because the bass is like a straight tone that I hear. Also, this like glitchy thing I'm hearing is kind of annoying. Didn't add any bass. Is this like an EQ? Do you get like an EQ and boost like one frequency? So I'm not a fan of that like rumbling sound. Just plain and simply. I think it would be so much better off just having a respace. Just a really low, deep respace. But dude, adding fills is a huge thing you should be adding. Fills are what break up monotony and repetitiveness. Just add it anywhere, man. But yeah, thank you so much for submitting, Impaled. Next up, we have Malin. Or Malian.
I was right not to trust you.
And what would you have done in my position?
I would have told them the truth. Brothers and sisters, to your new home.
This is our shot. It might be our only shot. This is your only shot.
Boom. This one sounds really good.
I regret that it caused you so much pain. But are you willing to let them pay the price for you?
Ooh. Wait, this is the best part. This is nasty, bro. I literally like that snare. Obscuring Claire. This is not to do with that one game, does it? That one game that people played. Bro, I actually really like the song. I feel like it lacks definition and like unique character. Like it just kind of sounds like a good Tear Out song. But maybe you just need to develop your style more. This sounds like a regular Tear Out song. Like good Tear Out, yes. It's just I don't hear anything that is unique, you know. But it's not like a major critique. It's just like finding how to stand out in the scene. But so far, dude, your mixing is really good. And this part with the snare sounds really good. I like how fucking chunky it sounds. Dude, the only thing that I do not like is this melody writing. This melody writing is very Actually, this part isn't that bad. This part was like, yeah, this is where I was like, oh, it's kind of funky now. Yeah. It feels like you made it like happy. Like the way you're writing it is like you're doing major intervals where it sounds happy. You should utilize half tone steps and minor intervals instead of major ones, because if you use major ones, it's just gonna sound happy and all jolly, and then you get to this part and it's not happy and jolly anymore, it's evil, destructive. I also feel like this instrument choice is a little poor. You have a cool idea with brass instruments having this big anthem-like melody. It's just a really, really bright horn to be using. Like, this is really bright. You should probably choose a different instrument to make this rhythm, or sorry, melody. Or you could try making an octave lower. But if I were you, I would ship this to a label, or honestly, self-releasing is a really good option too. Just get other artists to help support you. But this is like release ready, I would say. You just make this one, release it, move on to the next song, release that one, and just keep going from there, because it sounds like this is pretty polished for what it is, and you just need to get your music out there. And it's like the biggest thing is getting music out there, and that's it. If you have eyes on a label, shoot your shot, try to submit to them, get their eyes on it, or ears on it, I guess. And yeah. But yeah, thank you for submitting, bro. Really good shit. All right, last one of the day. Excuse me. Johnny Brooks. Wow, what a different vibe.
Something that you shouted last night's been stuck on my mind. You were utilizing words, how absurd, how the rhythm dances in between the midnight lights. In the echoes that I heard made a beautiful reflection. Happiness is just another chemical reaction. Cause I feel it in the movies, like I'm behind the scenes. I've been just running through the hallways, and it's all trees, trying to find my dressing room queen. Like in the movies,
Very unexpected.
the ones that make you scream. It seems you have a way with words. I've heard I have a way of captivating. While I got you here next to
Yeah, bro. I need to ask, man. Did you make this instrumental or was it AI? Because if you made it from AI, firstly, bruh. Secondly, I can't really give you any advice for mixing or anything at all. I can only comment on your vocal performance. Um, if I'm being really honest, man, listening to your vocals, like you kind of get it down, but the quality of the soundtrack seems a lot higher quality than the vocals. And in my mind, if you're this much better at producing a track and you don't do anything with your vocals and your vocals are just distorting like crazy, I feel like something's up. Like I don't know anything about vocal recording. I don't really sing that much. I don't do vocals a lot, but I know how to mix them because I can mix a regular song. So something's up. There's no way every other instrument in the song sounds good and well mixed, and your vocals are the only one that's like really distorting. Of course, the track is my homies that he fully produced, and vocal stuff is just from my writing. Okay, so you wrote the vocals today. Okay. Well, in that case, I can give you some vocal stuff. I don't know how open your friend would be, I guess, to vocals or sorry, mixing advice. One thing that keeps my attention is that the bass it has like stereo, which is a no-no. You want bass to be in the center because having low end pan left and right, left or right, is weird sounding. No one likes it. It has to be at least balanced, but it's just pan to the left.
That you shouted last night's been stuck on my mind.
Also, all the instruments that could be panable are not panned or made stereo. Like there's a synth that comes in that's just like an ARP basically, and there's no wideness to it. Your hi-hats don't have any wideness to it.
You were utilizing words how absurd.
Yeah, in general, I think you just need to utilize wideness more, stereo more, because it's just really mono sounding. There's not a lot of space that's surrounding it. And your vocals are a big part of the reason why. So it sounds like you did a lot of takes with the vocals. You did like backing vocals properly. You did doubles. The thing is, I don't know if is he gonna mix it or is this just like what you made? Because, dude, if he's making everything, this feels really weird. Like we're just playing telephone right now. If he mixed it, I feel like he would have a better idea of what he's doing. It's a writing demo. So can I ask you, like, what were you expecting me to like give feedback on if you're just doing like vocal stuff? The vibe of the song? Dude, I make this stuff to just an idea. Yeah, dude, but I mainly do feedback on production, like the production part. Like getting the idea down is one single part of it, but actually getting the production of something down is the hard part, and that's like what I'm giving feedback on. If you want me to just listen to the vibe, as a lot of people you can. It says feedback stream. Yeah, feedback, music feedback. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's good or bad?
Like I'm behind the scenes. I've been just running through the hallways, 97 trees, trying to find my dressing room queen.
Yeah, I guess I can't fault you for not knowing, but I don't know. If you do like a feedback stream, I don't know. I don't know how like you think of it. I just kind of see like if I were an artist and I see a feedback stream, it's like, okay, they're probably gonna say more than just it's good or bad, you know? They're gonna have some like better advice. Homie, you sound like someone that's never heard a song before and you just said, do you dig the vibe? What? I don't even understand what that's saying.
I've heard
Bro, if you want to say I dig the vibe, bro, I dig the vibe. But a lot of the issues I hear with this aren't related to your performance, I guess. And if you want me to give feedback to you, I'm not a vocal artist. I don't sing. I do strictly production stuff. Like I said, and all my feedback, you can see it on here, on the notes. I have you up here, and it's all stuff that you don't have to worry about. For anything, just send your producer to me, and that way I could give like actual feedback. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say for you. Sorry you had different expectations. I don't know what you really thought it was gonna be, but I guess I can't follow you for that. So, anyways, thank you for submitting, bro. It does sound good. I hope it gets polished. You could just screenshot this or like send the video, whatever works best. But yeah, thank you for submitting. And that is the last submission of the stream. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back next week.